Good afternoon and welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us for today's webinar. My name is Louis and I'm the Company Secretary at PREMIA TNC Singapore. I'm so delightful to be here with you today. I'm going to share some of the information with regards of the requirements for employment pass and dependent pass in Singapore. I truly believe that this information will be helpful. Just a little reminder before we get started. If you have any questions during the presentations, please type them into the question box on the right column. My assistant will get it and bring them to me. Submit them now and I will answer them later during the Q&A sessions. If any chance we omit your questions, we will reply you via email after the webinar. Now, without further delay, let's start our webinar. What are the employment pass and dependent pass in Singapore? In Singapore, the Employment Pass EP stands as a cornerstone of the country workforce management strategy, facilitating the entry of foreign professionals, managers, executives, and specialists who possess a skill and expertise deemed essential for the nation's economic development. The EP program is structured to attract top-tier talent from around the world, ensuring that Singapore remains competitive in key industry and maintains its positions as a global business hub. The process of obtaining an employment pass involves rigorous assessments by the Ministry of Manpower, MOM, which evaluates factors such as the applicant's qualifications, work experience, salary, and the relevance of their skill in Singapore's economic needs. The stringent vetting process ensures the EP holder possesses the expertise necessary to make meaningful contributions to their respective field and add value to the Singaporean economy. Whereas dependent pass DP holder, including spouses and unmarried children below the age of 21, enjoy certain privileges and benefits while residing in Singapore. These may include access to healthcare services, education opportunities, and in some cases, the ability to pursue employment or further study. The DP framework recognizes the importance of family unity and support in facilitating the integrations of foreign workers into Singaporean society, promoting the social cohesion and inclusivity. Furthermore, the Singaporean government regularly review and refines its immigration policy to ensure that they remain aligned with the nation's evolving economic priorities and demographic trends. This proactive approach enables Singapore to adapt swiftly to changing circumstances and to maintain its status as a preferred destination for global talent, while safeguarding the interests of its citizens and residents. In summary, the employment pass and dependent pass schemes play integral roles in Singapore workforce management and immigration strategies, driving the economic growth, fostering the innovations, and promoting social harmony. By attracting and retaining the top talent from around the world, Singapore continues to position itself as a leading business and innovation hub in the Asia-Pacific region and beyond. What are the benefits? Benefits of an employment pass. Legal employment. Holder of an employment pass are legally allowed to live and work in Singapore, provided that they remain employed by the sponsoring company. Access to services. Employment pass holder can access various services in Singapore, including the opening bank accounts, obtaining mobile phone plans, and subscribing to utilities like electricity and water. Healthcare. EP holders are eligible to enroll in the Singapore's healthcare systems, which include access to public healthcare services and insurance schemes. Family sponsorship. EP holder can sponsor their immediate family member, spouse and unmarried children under 21 years old for dependent passes, allowing them to live together in Singapore. Education. EP holder children can attend a Singaporean school, including the international school, and benefit from the country's high-quality education systems. Permanent resident eligibility. EP holder who meet certain criteria may be eligible to apply for permanent residence in Singapore, which offer additional benefits such as access to subsidized healthcare and education. Investment opportunities. EP holder may explore the investment opportunity in Singapore and have access to resources and support for starting the businesses or investing in the existing ones. Benefits of Dependent Pass. Family unity. Dependent Pass holder, including spouses and unmarried children, can live together with the Employment Pass holder in Singapore, promoting the family unity and support. Access to services. Dependent Pass holder can access various services in Singapore, including the healthcare, education, and recreational facilities, similar to EP holder. Education. Dependent Pass holder children have access to Singaporean school, allowing them to receive a high-quality education and benefit from the country's multicultural environment. Employment. In certain cases, Dependent Pass holder may be eligible to work in Singapore after obtaining the necessary approval from the Ministry of Manpower. Networking opportunities. Dependent Pass holder can network and socialize with other expatriates and the local in Singapore, contributing their overall well-being and integrations into community. Cultural exposure. Living in Singapore exposes a Dependent Pass holder to a diverse range of cultures, languages, and experiences, enriching their personal and professional life. Overall, both the Employment Pass and Dependent Pass offer numerous benefits that contribute to a fulfilling and enriching experience for foreign professionals and their families living and working in Singapore. What are the eligibility criteria? Eligibility criteria for Employment Pass and Dependent Pass. For Employment Pass, the eligibility criteria to qualify for an Employment Pass in Singapore, applicants typically need to fulfill the certain criteria. Hold a job offer from a Singapore-based employer. Possess acceptable qualifications, such as a good university degree, professional qualifications, or specialized skill. Have a relevant work experience, and meet a minimum salary requirement, which is regularly updated by the Ministry of Manpower. The salary threshold varies depending on the factor like applicants' educational qualifications and the company industry. So in short, they are categorized into two stages. The stage 1 earned at least the Employment Pass qualifying salary, at least 5,000 for all sectors except financial services, increases progressively with age from age 23 up to 10,500 at age 45 and above. At least 5,500 for financial services sector, increasing progressively with age from the age 23 up to 11,500 at age 45 and above. And stage 2, pass the point-based complementarity assessment framework, COMPASS. COMPASS is a transparent point-based system that gives a business a greater clarity and certainty for manpower planning. It empowers the employer to select high-quality foreign professionals while improving the workforce diversity and building a strong local core. How to earn point and pass a COMPASS. Your applications need to earn 40 points in order to pass the COMPASS. So under the C1 salary criterion, the candidate's salary will also be benchmarked against the salary of local professionals, manager, executive, and technicians in the same sectors as your organizations. Under the C2, educational qualifications, you will get most points if you are posted any top 100 universities based on the QS World University Ranking and other highly reputed universities in Asia. Under C3, diversity, these criterion awards more points to applicants. A diverse mix of nationalities enriches firms with a new idea and network and contributes to a more inclusive and resilient workforce. Under the C4, support for local employment. These criterion recognizes organizations that create opportunities for the local workforce and build complementary teams comprising both local and foreign professionals. It will come with a bonus criteria for up to 30 points if you are eligible for any special skills and undertaking an ambitious investment, innovations, and international activities in partnership with economic agency. Nevertheless, it can be exemptions from Compass if you have a fixed monthly salary of at least 22,500. So what will be the process of applying for an employment pass? Step 1, submit an applications with the requested information by an appointed service provider like the PREMIA TNC. It will take around up to 3 weeks to get the update from MOM. The applicant does not need to be in Singapore when we apply the employment pass. However, you will need to get a written consent to apply for employment pass from the candidate. Also, complete the candidate forms. It contains the information that we need for the applications and can be sent to the candidates to fill in. Step 2, prepare to arrive in Singapore after approval has been granted from MOM. So before departing, the candidate should print your in-principle approval letter, ensure that they comply with the latest travel requirement. After arriving, the candidate should show your IPA letter to the immigrant officer, complete any required medications examinations if necessary. And step 3, get the pass issue. We will issue the employment pass and keep you updated. Once the pass is issued, we will share the notification letter by email. The notification letter is valid for 1 month from the date of issue, and it allows you to start work and travel in and out of Singapore while waiting for the pass card. Step 4, register fingerprint at MOM Center. We will fix an appointment for you in order for you to visit MOM Center for fingerprint registrations. For information, you need to complete the registrations within 2 weeks after pass is issued. During the appointment, you will need to bring original passport, appointment letter, and notification letter. Lastly, receive the employment pass card. The card will send to the registered office address within 5 working days, and we will inform you once we receive. The validity and renewal. Initially, the employment pass is usually granted for 1 to 2 years, depending on various factors, including the applicant's qualifications and the employer profile. EP holder can apply for renewal as long as they continue to meet the eligibility criteria. So the benefit, employment pass holder are allowed to live and work in Singapore legally. They may also be eligible to bring certain family members to Singapore on a dependent pass. Applications process. Employer in Singapore typically apply for employment passes on behalf of their foreign employee. The applications is submitted online through the Ministry of Manpower website and usually take a week for the processing. Dependent pass, the eligibility criteria. The dependent pass in Singapore is available to the spouses and unmarried children below 21 years old of holder of a certain types of work visa, including the employment passes, S-pass, entry passes, and personalized employment passes. Benefit: dependent pass who hold a dependent pass, dependents who hold a dependent pass are allowed to live in Singapore and, in some cases, work or study. However, the ability to work or study may be subject to additional conditions and approval. Application process. The applications for the dependent pass is typically submitted by the main visa holder, employer, or, in the case of entry pass holder, by the entrepreneur themselves. The application process is also managed through the Ministry of Manpower website. Overall, the process of applying for an dependent pass would be similar as employment pass. It will take around up to 3 weeks to get the update from MOM. The validity and renewal. The validity of the dependent pass is usually tied to the validity of the main visa holder work pass. Therefore, as long as the main visa holder pass is valid and renewable, the dependent pass can also be renewed accordingly. What are the required documents? Document required for employment pass. Personal particular page of candidate passport. If the candidate name on the passport different from that on their other documents, please also upload an explanation letter and supporting documents, for example, the pool. Education certificate. Fill out the application form. And documents are required for dependent pass. Copy of the personal particular page of the candidate passport. For children who share a passport with their parents, you must also submit the parents' personal particular page. Copy of the marriage certificate. Copy of the official birth certificates stating the parents' names, and fill up the application form. Approved timelines. So the timelines for the employment pass approval. In general, the process for employment pass will take about 3 weeks for reviewing and approval. However, MOM may ask for additional information if any. And the timelines for dependent pass approval. As you may know that the dependent pass is tagged with the employment pass. The approval of dependent pass is depending on the status of the employment pass holder, and the timeline for approval of dependent pass is usually take 3 weeks. In conclusion, the employment pass serves as a gateway for skilled individuals to contribute their expertise to Singapore economy, fostering the innovations, driving the growth, and enhancing the country competitiveness on the global stage. By attracting the top talent from around the world, the EP programs helps to address a skill gap and fill key industry, while also promoting the knowledge transfer and diversity in the workplace. Nevertheless, the Dependent Pass program recognizes the importance of family unity and support in the relocation process. It allows the spouses and children of EP holder to join them in Singapore, ensuring that the family can stay together and thrive in their new environment. Dependent pass holder benefit from the access to essential services such as healthcare and education, as well as opportunities for employment and personal development. Together, the Dependent Pass and Dependent Pass schemes reflect Singapore's commitment to fostering a dynamic and inclusive society where talent is recognized and valued regardless of nationality. By providing a supportive environment for foreign professionals and their family, Singapore continues to attract top talent and maintain its positions as a leading global business hub. Getting a status in Singapore is an exciting opportunity, but it can also be a bit overwhelming, especially when it comes to sorting out the paperwork. That's the reason why we come in. We are here to help to make the process of applying for employment pass and dependent pass as smooth as possible. Question and answer. Now I would like to go ahead and take some time for the questions. You can just type in your questions on the right column of your screens. Otherwise, please click on the live chat on the top column in red and have a meeting appointment with us. Is it easy to get an employment pass in Singapore? Getting an employment pass in Singapore can vary in difficulties depending on several factors, including your qualifications, work experience, the depends for your skill in Singapore, and the company you're applying to work for. Generally, if you possess a special skill, relevant work experience, and a job to offer for the reputable company in Singapore, your chances of obtaining an employment pass are higher. However, Singapore has a stringent criteria for the employment pass applications to ensure that foreign worker complement rather than to displace the local workforce. The government regularly review and adjust these criteria to maintain the balance between attracting the global talents and safeguarding the interests of the Singaporean worker. To increase your chances of obtaining an EP, it's crucial to thoroughly understand the eligibility requirements and submit a complete and accurate applications with all necessary supporting documents. Working with an experienced consultant can also be beneficial, especially if you are unfamiliar with Singapore visa procedures. How long will I need to renew for my employment pass? Normally, the employment pass will be granted for 2 years, and you can apply to renew an employment pass up to 6 months before the pass expires. Right. We also have some of the questions where we receive the live questions, and I'm going to answer it. Can I apply an employment pass without setting up my company or not hired by any employer? No, you generally cannot apply for an employment pass in Singapore without being hired by an employer. The employment pass is a work visa specifically for foreign professionals, manager, executive, and specialists who have been offered a job by a Singaporean employer. To apply for an EP, you need a valid job to offer from a Singapore registered company. The company must sponsor your EP applications and provide supporting documents, such as your employment contract and a detailed job descriptions. Additionally, the company needs to demonstrate that they have tried to hire local, but were unable to find a suitable candidate for the positions. What will be the chances of getting the approval for my employment pass? In Singapore, the approval of an employment pass depend on several factors set by the Ministry of Manpower. These factors include your salary, qualifications, job relevance, employer track records, and also fulfill the compass point-based system, and etc. The good thing is we are able to conduct a self-assessment tools based on the required details. The tools will be able to allowing us to determine the likelihood of the approval for the employment pass. Rest assured, we provide you with a comprehensive guidance and support to maximize your approval prospects. Can children on dependent pass attend local school in Singapore? Yes. The children holding a dependent pass in Singapore are generally allowed to attend local school. The dependent pass allowed the holder to reside in Singapore as a dependent of an employment pass, and these privileges often extend to access to the applications. Parents or guidance should contact the relevant school or educational authority in Singapore for detailed information on the admissions procedures, school fees, and other requirements for international students, including those on the dependent pass. All right, I think that we are heading to the end of today's webinar. For you to take notes, PREMIA TNC specializes in helping companies about the compliance needs. We offer tailored solutions to meet the specific regulatory requirements. With our team experience in Singapore regulations, we make sure all compliance needs are met efficiently. We are able to incorporate a company for you, arranging the corporate bank account openings, provide the resolutions for visa applications, keeping accurate records to timely filings. PREMIA TNC handle it all. We use advanced technologies and industry expertise to provide guidance, updates on regulations, and personalized support. Partnering with PREMIA TNC will help your businesses streamline compliance processes, reduce risk, and focus on your main activities with confidence in your business expansions. If you would like to find out more or looking to begin your business opportunities and investment journey, please feel free to contact us and have a conversation with us. I hope you take advantage from this webinar. Thanks again for joining us today, and we will see you next time. Thank you.